YouTube, welcome to Mose Knows. I am your host, Mose. For those of you that subscribe, I know I've been away for a minute. Uploads ain't been consistent like they was with the mock draft series. I know. I'm sorry. Listen, life. Y'all seen Mrs. Mose Knows. Y'all know I got a wife to take care of. Y'all know I got kids to, feed and make sure that they good and spend some quality time with them. The world is changing. They relaxing COVID restrictions. I had to go into the office a few times. I'm taking care of some business over there. But don't worry, I'm back. I'm here. We gonna keep the content coming. We're gonna keep the uploads coming. We gonna stay on top of it. Just know that sometimes life throw a little curveball and you gotta, maneuver your way around the obstacles that come up. But it's all good. I'm alive and well. I'm here. I'm breathing. So we back at it. We starting a new series today. We kind of did a little bit of draft recap. This is more draft recap, but today I'm putting on my professor cap. I am an esteemed professor and I'm handing out grades. We can recap and we can go over what I liked and what I didn't like, but what better way to really show you if I liked or disliked something than to give it a grade? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go team by team, division by division, conference by conference, and we're going to give these teams a draft grade with what they were able to accomplish. So before I jump into that, I haven't, had any uploads, but I did throw some lives out there. I did collaborate with some folks. Shout out to my main man, 100 grand, G-Easy. Grant Cohn of Sports Illustrated out on the West Coast, man. Thank you so much for coming through, stopping by Mose Knows and chatting it up with me. We talked about some current events in the NFL. We talked about some draft topics. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for coming through. That care package is on the way to you, bruh. Shout out to my brother from another, Wayne Breezie over at Nitty Gritty Niners. We have a similar series like what I'm doing today, giving out draft grades, but we doing a versus. Y'all heard us Timberland. Y'all heard us Swiss Beach. Y'all heard of Versus TV. Well, we doing a versus. It's Wayne Breezie versus Mose. He got the NFC. I got the AFC. We going pick for pick. And we seeing which side had the better draft. I think I'm winning right now, but it's subjective. Other people might think Breezy won, but that's what versus is about. So we're bringing that content to you. We got a new stream going up every weekend. So be on the lookout for that. I'll drop the links to all of their, social medias and their channels in the description. I thank y'all for supporting me. And if y'all, by chance hop over and support them, I thank and appreciate you for that. Those guys are amazing people and friends and content creators. I love being able to collaborate and work with those guys and just talk ball with them. They're very knowledgeable. They know what they're talking about. And it's an easy conversation. So, get plugged in with those guys and get those notifications when their content comes out and when Mose collaborates with those guys again. You don't want to miss that. So let's jump right in. We're starting with the AFC East. Okay. So we got this one coming out. And then later on this week, we'll do the NFC East. And then next week, we'll hit you with another AFC division. Not sure which division that's going to be, but we'll hit you with the AFC and the NFC. Let's say we'll do AFC North, NFC North. Then after that, you get the picture. So this week is going to be the East, AFC East today, NFC East on Thursday, and we'll keep it moving like that. So let's start with the Jets. First pick, number 2, we knew what they was going to do. We knew they was going quarterback. We knew they had an eye for Zach Wilson. They traded Sam Darnold. And what did they do? They took Zach Wilson. We knew that we knew that was going to happen. That was inevitable. We didn't know that they were going to trade up and attack that offensive line. They saw an opportunity to trade up and get Elijah Vera Tucker. I think they traded up to 13 because they knew he was going to go within that, 12 to 15, 16 range. They traded up with Minnesota. They got the offensive lineman that they need. He's listed as offensive lineman because he can play tackle. He can play guard. I believe he'll start at guard. Slide him right next to Mekhi Becton. And Zach Wilson's left side is protected for a long time. Second round, we go Elijah Moore, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Fourth round, we didn't have a third round pick. We take Michael Carter, running back out of North Carolina. 3 fifth-round picks. We have Jamie and Sherwood, safety out of Auburn. Another safety, Michael Carter II out of Duke. We have a corner, Jason Pinnock from Pittsburgh. We have 3 6th-round picks as well. We have Hamza Nasirildeen, safety out of Florida State, Brandon Eccles, cornerback out of Kentucky, and Jonathan Marshall, defensive tackle out of Arkansas. Talked about Zach Wilson. We knew that was going to be the play. I think the best part about this draft that I love is that new head coach Robert Saleh and the regime there is doing whatever they can to surround their young quarterback with enough quality talent for him to be successful. That's one of the things that the previous regime did not do for Sam Darnold until it was too late. But after getting Zach Wilson, you trade up and get Vera Tucker, so you make sure that the offensive line in front of him is solid and intact. Then you go and add a wide receiver the caliber of Elijah Moore. Some people gave him first-round grades. I believe he's going to be focused primarily in the slot, but everything that he can do in the slot from that standpoint is absolutely amazing. He'll be able to play outside, inside. You know, he's a Swiss Army knife on offense, and I think you're going to see a lot of big plays from Elijah Moore in that offense. And then right after that, we still focus on the offense and making sure that Zach Wilson has the tools that he needs to be successful. And we get him a running back like Michael Carter out of North Carolina. I think he fits what they want to do as an offense with the Jets. And again, now you surround him. He's got an offensive line in front of him, wide receivers beside him, running back behind him. Now you allow him to progress and to build on his talent and to get acclimated to the NFL game with quality weapons around him. But after they focused on that, they went back to the strength of their head coach and they focused their next 6 picks on defense. Not going to go over all of them. I really like the Brandon Eccles and Jonathan Marshall picks. But I think my favorite pick of these 6 is Hamza Nasirildeen out of Florida State. I'll pound the table for this kid. I love what he's able to bring to the table. And if you look at Robert Saleh and the Legion of Boom coaching tree that he comes from up in Seattle, Hamza Nasirildeen reminds me of a player like Cam Chancellor. He's not going to wow you with his speed, but he is going to wow you with his instincts, his sideline-to-sideline ability, and the way that he's able to always be around the ball. He's a solid tackler. He can intercept the ball. He can strip the ball and force fumbles. I think he landed in a perfect spot with a perfect defensive-minded head coach to get the best out of him and to help him grow and mature as an NFL player. Love that pick. So altogether, you get the quarterback of the future in Zach Wilson. You get an offensive lineman to protect him, a wide receiver to catch passes from him, a running game to keep the offense balanced and keep the defense guessing. Are they going to run? Are they going to pass? And then you focus on defense and add players who can either come in right away and be impactful in the starting 11 or in a rotation or as special teams pieces. This draft for me is an A. Got to give the Jets an A with what they were able to do. I think this is a solid first draft for Robert Saleh and his team. I can't wait to see what these young fellas are able to put on the field. Now we are moving over to the Miami Dolphins, another team with 2 first-round picks. They started at pick 3. That was the pick that they had acquired from the Texans in the Laramie Tunsil trade. We know the Texans weren't a very good team, and their pick ended up being 3, but it was with the Dolphins. Then the Dolphins trade back to number 12 with the 49ers because, we wanted to jump up and get the quarterback, you know what I'm saying? So we had to make a move. But then they take the picks that they got from that, package 12 and another pick and move back up to 6 with the Eagles. They had a plan all along. I think they executed their plan solidly. And with the number 6 pick, they take wide receiver Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. We know he has speed. I think he's more than a speed threat. I think he adds a dynamic ability to this offense. Yes, the Dolphins signed Will Fuller in free agency, but Will Fuller has a bit of a consistency problem with staying on the field. So if for whatever reason Will Fuller gets hurt and he's not able to give us a full season, that's okay. we have a guy that we can utilize and throw in that offense and not miss a beat with Jalen Waddle. With our second pick in the first round, we take Jalen Phillips, defensive end out of Miami. I'll touch on that in a second. We have 2 second-round picks. With the first of 2, we take Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon. The second of those 2, we take Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame. In our third round, we take Hunter Long, tight end out of Boston College. And then we had no 4th, no 5th, no 6th-round pick. Probably a lot of trades in there. It has, on this screen, it has 3 7th-round picks, but it was only 2. 258 is either not a pick or was traded. So with our last 2 picks, we take Larnell Coleman, tackle out of UMass, and Jared Dokes, running back out of Cincinnati. We're going to touch on the first 5 picks. And I think even without the 7th round picks, this draft is day. We already talked about what we're getting from Jalen Waddle. I think what we're getting from Jalen Phillips is a 10+ sack guy for, multiple years. Maybe not as a rookie, but I think he's just going to continue to build upon, his first year in the league. I love what he brings to the table from a physical standpoint, from an athleticism standpoint. I know folks are worried about the injuries and the concussion history. I don't think a lot of that was from football. I know he had that really bad car accident. I think that caused the major concussion issues that he had. Obviously, football will play a role in it. You're banging headfirst into another 6'5", 300-pound guy that can cause some issues. But I think the main reason for the concussions was something that he couldn't control. Car accidents can be fatal. Thankfully, he didn't suffer any fatal injuries, and hopefully, if he's able to keep his body in shape and not have any freak accidents on the field that can cause multiple concussions, having him under the defensive mind of a Brian Flores with his physical gifts, I think that was an amazing pickup for the Dolphins. I'm going to put this comp out there, and when I put comps out there for players, it's just what I see, maybe potential. I'm not saying that Jalen Phillips will be this player or will produce like this player. I'm just saying from an eye test standpoint, Jalen Phillips kind of reminds me of Jason Taylor. They have the same build, same kind of freakish athletic features, tall, long arms, good athleticism, ability to bend off the edge. I think Jalen Phillips can be absolutely amazing under a guy like Brian Flores in that defense. So again, great pick. Moving on to the second round, they take Javon Holland, safety out of Oregon. Brian Flores is going to get crazy use out of this young guy. You're going to see him lined up at safety. You're going to see him play in the box sometimes. You're definitely going to see him lined up in the nickel in some aspects. Flores is going to be able to move this guy all around. And I think Javon Holland is in a perfect spot for him to be utilized. They already have great corners. So all he has to do is do what he does best and be a ball hawk. Use his instincts in that defense to make plays and get turnovers. Then with our second round pick, we take Liam Eichenberg, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. I believe Liam Eichenberg is a day one starter. I had a first round grade on him. I mocked him in the first round to the Colts because I figured they would want to replace Anthony Costanzo, who retired. To be able to get him in the second round with the second of 2 second round picks, I think that's absolutely amazing. We can slide him right in to the right tackle spot with Austin Jackson on the left side, and our offensive line is set. Third round pick, I believe this is Brian Flores digging into his Patriot roots, wanting to go to a 2 tight end set. I know some people are saying, why take Hunter Long? We already have Mike Gesicki. But I think with Tua still being a young quarterback, you get him another solid, dependable tight end who is also good in run blocking. That can only benefit your offense. So you got Hunter Long, you got Mike Gesicki. Brian Flores is trying to implement that 2 tight end system that works so well with the Patriots. Now I think we got something special here. Our defense is coming along. We got Jalen Waddle. We add Liam Eichenberg to that offensive line. Then we add a guy like Hunter Long for our 2 tight end sets. Oh man, listen to it. You don't have no excuses now. You don't have any excuses now. Taking a look at this draft, I love what they were able to do. And like I said, with the first 5 picks alone, this draft is an A, hands down. Dolphins were able to move up and down the draft board as they saw fit. They were able to trade back, then trade back up, got the wide receiver they wanted, got a top flight pass rusher, got the offensive lineman who was a day 1 starter. Oh man, I love this draft. This is an A for me. Professor Mose grants an A. Okay, moving on to the New England Patriots. Listen, thank the Lord for the Patriots. Now, they didn't have to move up and trade to get this guy, but I think Kyle and John kind of had a talk with Bill Belichick, and Josh McDaniels, and like, look, we want people to believe that we want Mac Jones, but we don't really want Mac Jones. I'm so thankful that they didn't want Mac Jones. I would have got behind it as a Niners fan, but I would have been upset. But we didn't go that way. But Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick saw something that they liked. And while people thought they might trade up to get this quarterback, most real analysts knew that Mac Jones wasn't worthy of a top 10 selection. Some analysts said Mac Jones wasn't even worthy of a first round selection. So the Patriots stood pat. The Patriots hung tight. They stuck to their guns and they said, we'll see if he falls. And I think they knew he was going to fall when the Bears traded up to get Justin Fields. I think that's when they knew then they could stay right where they were and they could get the quarterback that they wanted. So they got Mac Jones to fall to them at 15. Didn't have to, show their hand. Didn't have to get desperate and trade other picks. They got the quarterback of the future that they wanted. In the second round, I think they got a first round talent. They got Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama. He fell because of some character concerns that people might have had of him off the field. Listen, he was able to play at Alabama. He was able to play under Nick Saban. I think that prepared him for playing for a guy like Bill Belichick in that Patriot way. I don't foresee him having character concerns in New England. And I think they have a starting defensive tackle in Christian Barmore that's going to wreak havoc against opposing offensive lines. In the third round, they go Ronnie Perkins, defensive end out of Oklahoma. Listen, getting another pass rusher that they can use in that defense. I like that. Fourth round, they take Ramondre Stevenson, running back out of Oklahoma. Fifth round, they take linebacker Cameron McGrone out of Michigan. Sixth round, they take safety Joshua Bledsoe out of Missouri. Sixth round, they take William Sherman, offensive tackle out of Colorado. And with the last pick in the seventh round, they take wide receiver Trey Nixon out of UCF. Again, not a fan of Mac Jones, but I'm a fan of Mac Jones for the Patriots, as long as it wasn't the 49ers. Love the Christian Barmore pick. I like Ronnie Perkins. Ramondre Stevenson is going to be a LeGarrette Blount in this type of offense. I believe he's like 6'2", 240. So he's a big back. He's going to come in short yardage, goal line, going to try to run you over to pick up those yards. Something that they love to utilize in that offense. They love to wear down that defensive line, wear down that front seven, punish cornerbacks and safeties trying to tackle the bigger backs. So I think that was a solid pick for what they do. I think Cameron McGrone is a great pick, especially with Dante Hightower coming back from opting out in 2020. I think if McGrone can learn from somebody like Hightower, that'll only increase his potential and what he's able to turn into. I think they have similar play styles, so that's a great place for him to learn and for him to fit in. Of the last three picks, I'm a fan of the Joshua Bledsoe pick. I believe the Patriots safeties are getting a little bit up there in age. So get a young guy like him to come in and learn under those veterans, get acclimated to the Patriot way. I think it's a great spot for him. So all in all, I give the Patriots a B. They stuck to their guns. I thought that they would do a little bit more trading than they did. The Patriots are known for trading up and down the draft order and acquiring more picks, but I think they went in with a solid plan. They went Alabama, Oklahoma. They attacked key positions of need for them. They got the quarterback of the future, got a defensive tackle that's going to come in and wreak havoc, got a rotational pass rusher, got the big body running back. So I give this draft a solid B. They were able to do some really, really good things here. Last team in the AFC East, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. Let's take a look at what they were able to do. First round, pick 30, they take Gregory Rousseau out of Miami, defensive end. Round 2, they take Carlos Basham, defensive end out of Wake Forest. Round 3, they take Spencer Brown, tackle out of Northern Iowa. No 4th round pick. Round 5, we take another tackle, Tommy Doyle out of Miami. We had 3 6th round picks. The first was Marquez Stevenson, wide receiver out of Houston. The next is DeMar Hamlin, safety out of Pittsburgh. And the third 6th round pick is Rashad Wild Goose, corner out of Wisconsin. And then in the 7th round, they take Jack Anderson, offensive guard out of Texas Tech. Excuse me. Okay, so first round pick, Gregory Rousseau. I love the pick. I think he went to a great defensive team that'll be able to utilize his skill set. I was anticipating him falling just because of some of the mock drafts that I was doing towards the tail end of that series where he started falling into the 2nd round. Thankfully for the player, he was still selected in the 1st round and didn't fall into the 2nd round. But I think his talent is immense. Yes, he did opt out of 2020, but if you look at his 2019 season, I believe he had 15 sacks. The kid is a monster. He's long, lanky, long arms, able to disengage, has good agility, good bend off the edge. So I think this is a positive pick for that defense and what he's able to provide. I like Carlos Basham as a player. I don't like the selection of another defensive end because if you look at it here, they took Rousseau, they took Basham, but last year in 2019, they took AJ Epinesa. Now, I think Rousseau and Basham are better suited for the edges on the outside. I think from what I saw with AJ Epinesa, he's better suited to play inside. Now, that could be the plan. The plan could be, we have Jerry Hughes who's getting up there in age. We'll throw Rousseau on the other side. We'll have Basham as a rotational piece on the end, and we'll kick AJ Epinesa to a more interior defensive alignment spot on a more permanent basis. That could be the plan. But, you draft this many defensive ends, one has to wonder what the plan really is. My plan is just one plan, but I know Carlos Basham has the ability to play on the inside as well. We've even seen at Miami, Gregory Rousseau was lined up, on the inside and not always at the defensive end position. So I think there's some, ability to rotate these guys and to move them at all different spots along that defensive line. But you want to know exactly what the plan is. And I don't think the plan is clear. So I think, 2 back-to-back picks on defensive ends, while you got great value, I think you could have used that pick somewhere else. Similarly with the 3rd and 5th round picks, Spencer Brown and Tommy Doyle, I'm okay with the Spencer Brown pick in the 3rd round. I do believe you could have gotten him in the 4th round, although they didn't have a 4th round pick. Maybe they could have traded up to acquire a 4th round pick. I think, it may have been better to try to, maybe get another wide receiver or another running back. I know you got a wide receiver later in the 6th round, but maybe you could have got, a better quality wide receiver in that 3rd round. But then to go Spencer Brown and Tommy Doyle, 2 back-to-back offensive tackles. I know you're bringing in depth. You're trying to see which one of these 2 will be your swing tackle. But again, I think you could have, in 4 picks, you only focused on 2 positions. So I think you could have, focused on other positions to fill other holes. You do get the receiver. I really like the DeMar Hamlin pick at safety. I think he's going to a team that has great safeties for him to learn from and to sit behind. So that's solid. Really like the Rashad Wildgoose pick. I think he's going to a team that suits his skill set very well. He can learn from Trey White. So I like those two picks. But some of those mid-round picks after Carlos Basham I wasn't too high on. So for me, this draft gets a B-. A little close to being a C+. But we gave you a B-. We gave you that that 10th of a point to get you to a low B. Because I like the Hamlin and Wildgoose picks. Love the Rousseau pick. Again, I like Carlos Basham as a player. I just think, the Bills as a team, could have went somewhere else. But again, good value for where they're able to select Carlos Basham. That's going to wrap it up, folks, for the AFC East. Be on the lookout for the NFC East video that is coming out Thursday of this week. You'll know when that's coming out, and you'll see when it's up and it's available if you do two things for me. You're already here. You family, right? You're here. I'm asking you if you family. I'm telling you, you came. You watching the video. You family now. There's nothing you can do about it. So just do two quick things for me. I need you to hit that subscribe button. Then I need you to take another 2 seconds and hit that bell icon. So when that video on Thursday of my NFC East grades goes live, you get notified. Wherever you at, on your iPhone, your iPad, or your computer, pop up the video, check the grade, see if you agree or if you disagree, and we can have a conversation about it. Hit me down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the grades. Let me know what you think about your team's draft. What did you like? What did you not like? Let's have a conversation about it. Love interacting with you all. I appreciate you so very much. You can interact with me here. You can interact with me on all of my other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Little birdie told me that I need to be doing some other things and that I need to be taking my live streams over to Twitch. So I'm going to link that down in the description, and we're going to start going live on Twitch. So all of y'all over here, jump over to Twitch, give me a follow over there. Let's get this thing rocking. And we just going to keep this up throughout the off season. We got the rookie mini camps. We may do, some live streams and pull up some clips and talk about rookie mini camps and what we're seeing good so far, what we're seeing bad so far. We got so much stuff that's going to be coming up in the next couple months with off season programs and mini camps and OTAs, but you don't want to miss it. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending time with Mose Knows, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.